Hello, everyone. This is Doug Ferguson, your host of the Checking the Gate podcast. This is my new podcast, which I'm really super excited about because I'm super passionate about movies, and that's basically what we're going to be doing. Per every episode, we're going to be talking about a different movie and trying to delve deeper into what that movie is, and just basically trying to get a better understanding of cinema. On a more intellectual level, but also on like a really emotional level and cultural level. I just want to say that the first few episodes, the audio quality is not going to be fantastic because of technical issues that I was having, but I finally worked my way around them, so it won't be too long before everything's a little more manageable and sounds better. But I think the content is pretty interesting of our first few episodes, so please keep tuned in. Also, check me out. I also have the Music A to Z podcast, which I'm a part of. I co-host with my older brother Steve, so check that out at musicatozpodcast.com, and be sure to check out my own film projects, because that's one of the reasons why I'm so interested in movies, is that I actually want to do it for a living. And I do have film projects at nshgfilms.com. NSHG is in the National Superheroes Guild. So thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoy the first episode of Checking the Gate. Welcome to what did you say it was Checking the Gate. Welcome to the Checking the Gate podcast. I'm Doug Ferguson
and company.
My good buddy Paul. We're here to talk movies. I think this is gonna be the first episode.
Well, you got to give me the proper introduction. Like, this is a 2-time Emmy Award winner in the future, Paul. Right?
Yes. Well, only an Emmy?
And no, I'm not done.
Oh, okay, sure.
3-time Oscar and 2-time Academy Award winner
in the future.
Yeah. And the first man to fly in a Federation starship, I think.
Yes.
That's reaching a little bit, but
and he's going to. Actually, in reality, he's already done all of this, because he took the starship and swung around the sun and went back in time to achieve it all again, because of how glorious it has been of a journey.
I somehow flew around the sun at warp speed.
Warp 9.9, right?
9.9, even though, the velocity you need to break away from a star's orbit is far less than that.
Yeah.
You can only fly in a straight line at warp.
I'm looking forward to doing episodes like Star Trek episodes with you.
Tom Paris says it himself. Warp flight, no left or right.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Exactly.
Even though I don't really like Robert Duncan. No offense to you. I love your hair. Yeah. Anyways, before I shoot myself in the foot, hi.
All right, so
nice to meet you.
So this is going to be like the first episode. Let's discuss why we want to talk about movies and why people should bother to listen to our opinions. I personally, I think I've wanted to make movies my whole life. I don't remember a point in time when I was not interested in making films. I think, before I even knew what a director was, I was like, I want to be the guy who makes the story and shoots the story and acts in it, because apparently I just want to do everything. I've literally been slowly but surely building up my skill set and to being a filmmaker, and now I'm finally starting to see that come into fruition. As you know, I've been working on a screenplay for quite a while. For my first feature film that I hope to shoot this year, called Blaze McGlory and the Freedom Fighters of Tomorrow.
It's awesome.
I
haven't read the whole thing yet, but so far I love it.
It's It is my love letter to science fiction because I grew up on sci-fi and there's no, especially Star Trek.
Me too.
I mean, I was pretty hardcore Trekkie for quite a while. I still got nothing on you though, Paul. You got.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not even a hardcore Trekkie. I'm just.
Are you sure? I mean, like space battles and stuff. I was like, you're porn. Like you're just like,
Yeah.
I just gotta watch me a space battle right now. I got that. Just like I saw some guys are like, I just gotta see a pair of boobs right now.
And for me, if I have to watch, a photon torpedo connect with a Cardassian cruiser because I hate those Cardassians.
Yeah, well,
and I'm putting this out there right now, just a heads up.
Okay.
To your millions of listeners, because there will be, and they're gonna go back and listen to this.
Yeah.
If anybody can find the original storyboard for the battle at Sector 001 for Star Trek First Contact.
That's the big battle where all the ships come in at the Borg cruiser. The Borg cruiser is coming toward Earth, and they have to stop it from coming to Earth
before it gets there.
Yeah,
and unleash their dastardly plot. If anybody can find that, please email me so I can send it to this guy who makes these killer YouTube videos. There's a YouTube video called Romulan Ale Captain, and he makes the most incredible looking Norexian class warbirds, Akira class starships. There's this huge battle. The Defiance in it.
He does like CG fight scenes,
and it's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I'll show it to you afterward.
Okay, please do.
It's like this 2-minute battle, and it's insane. And if I can see an actual full on, like they couldn't film it because they ran out of money. The film actually there was going to be this gratuitous battle for the fans like myself, but then they had to chop it down to the Enterprise jumping in and hitting this one little weak spot. It was a plot device that it worked because it showed how proficient Captain Picard was against the Borg, but it didn't work in a sense that it made the Borg look really weak. It was a
really like fast scene, and I always felt that it was even as fast as it was still always one of the highlights of the movie.
Yes,
I still really enjoy it, but it's not as I could definitely see more potential.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it makes it any worse than it is. No, sorry, I'm not saying that it makes the movie any worse. I'm just saying that that battle could have been longer, and I really would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, but if they ran out of money, they ran out of money. What can you do? But nowadays, this day and age, somebody can do it on their home computer. Basically,
they can do it like right there, and it's
How many? It's all
it's incredible.
That's 18 years ago. First Contact.
Holy shit, you're right. Wait, can you swear on the show?
Let's turn it down. Maybe I can.
Okay.
I can.
Holy crap!
Yeah, let's try and keep it PG for the most part.
18 years. What was I doing? I was 10 years old.
Yeah,
I'm old.
Yeah, man. So, anyway, yeah. So that's I've been also reviewing.
I'm gonna have to take spring chicken off my resume.
Yeah. Oh no! I mean, unless it's like in like the culinary section of your resume, like I can make a spring chicken.
I don't even know what that would be like.
I don't know.
How's that different from regular chicken?
Anyway, I also have been reviewing movies for a long time. I've written a lot of like text movie reviews, and I'm trying to move away from that because I actually really wanted to start embracing more like audio and visual ways of talking about films, and this is the beginning of that.
And thank you for bringing me on board.
Yes,
it's an honor.
I was trying to think of people who have really strong opinions about movies.
Okay.
That don't always match with my own, but also do often enough match my own opinions that. I mean, I think that you and I have some pretty good debates about movies, and I think that our conversations are interesting enough that that the people would want to listen to it. Yeah.
And they are just our opinions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you have a means for your listeners to contact you with their opinions because I love the internet for being able to debate with people across the world.
I absolutely think that
there should be some feedback. Well, I mean, I don't have the webpage up yet because I just haven't gotten it up yet. So at the moment, let's say that people can contact me and send email feedback at admin@nshgfilms.com. Because that's a website, or that's an email that is up and running. It's connected to our film page, and we check it. So
that was admin.
Yeah, ADMIN at nshgfilms.com.
There's probably going to be a link in the podcast.
Yeah, I'll try and when I get the webpage up, I'll try and make it so that everything's kind of easy to navigate.
Cool. Link in the description.
There you go. Yeah, link in the description. Or what I'm finding a lot of YouTubers going is like, link in the doobly-doo.
In the doobly-doo.
Yeah.
Sexy Phil coined that.
Is he coined that? I could believe him.
In the doobly-doo, because
I've seen it in a lot of things. I don't even.
At one point, the description was on the right-hand side, and then it was underneath after YouTube did that huge overhaul.
Yeah.
And he went link in and he didn't quite know where it was, and he went doobly-doo with his fingers.
Yeah.
And I think it started from there. He's the guy.
I can believe it because he's a really big.
I could be wrong
though.
So
yeah.
But yeah, I feel like he's the captain of the Starship YouTube.
Yeah.
At least the Starship source fan. I mean, DeFranco Inc. is... Anyways. So
Paul, why should we value your opinion when it comes to movies? Tell us about your history with cinema. And aspirations as well.
Like sort of where I'm going.
Yeah.
Or like what brought me to film.
Yeah, what brought you to film?
What didn't bring me to film? I mean... I'm, as I've been told, like an emotional conduit. I tend to empathize really, really heavily with, well done stories, and like I tend to really allow myself to be affected by. I shouldn't say allow. Like it's tough for me not to be affected by something that's gut wrenching or pulls on your heartstrings or whatnot. In a film, and that's what I love about it. It's the experience of being moved by it. Either I hate this character, or I love this character, or I hate that they died, or don't watch Joss Whedon films if you hate that stuff.
It's like, yeah. Like I think the characters I just want to see a happy ending where everyone gets out okay.
Don't watch something from Joss Whedon.
No, Joss Whedon.
He's a titan though when it comes to writing great film and music. Him and Jed Whedon, they're
Serenity, man. After rewatching that, I just hits it out of the park for me.
Spoiler? No, we're not going to do spoilers, are we?
Nah.
No, okay.
No.
Well, then we should probably.
But yes, anyway. Serenity hits it out of the park for me. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
The show Firefly is bar none, I think, the best science fiction show that I've seen, and I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah.
I love Trek more than any other series, but I think Serenity is a better show because the characters and the universe is so real. But sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. So what brings me to film is the fact that I'm affected by it, and I love to be affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience when you go to a theater and you're surrounded and you're immersed in what's going on, or if you're watching good television like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or any of these really, really good shows, or even cartoons like X-Men or anything that's really well done that you allow that you allow yourself to experience. That's why I'm into film. It's because of the experience. It's well done, and they're experiencing it. Someone's telling a story that I'm being lost in, and I love feeling that. That's why I'm in it.
Yeah, I can definitely like. People can underestimate the power of like a well-told story.
Yeah.
And really like characters that you can connect with. Like there's a certain power to it that literally makes history. Some films are history making and influence culture in such a way that actually the movie we're going to be talking about today.
You're so much more articulate than I am. You're so much better than I am at this.
No,
cut all my stuff out.
No, I thought you were perfectly fluent. Don't worry. But yeah, so I could see you being an empathetic person working also in how you are like an actor and trying to. Paul here just got a. Am I allowed to say? I don't know about
you can say it.
He's got a recurring role in a show called Blackstone.
Season 4.
It's a Canadian program. I mean, I don't actually know. I've never seen it, but now I kind of want to because you're pimping it out so much on Facebook.
You can see it. If you just go to aptn.com.
Yeah.
And that stands for Aboriginal People's Television Network.com or CA, one of the two. Well, you'll be able to just Google it, and then you can watch full episodes for free, seasons 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah. And it's on Hulu now in the United States, and that's they're sort of branching out to the States now, which is sort of where you want to go if you're making television. You want Americans to like your show.
The American audience is still one of the biggest audiences that consume entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
With movies, there's the American domestic haul and then the foreign haul.
Yeah.
And I mean, nowadays it's starting to shift toward foreign being more money, but for the longest time, the domestic American haul was a huge percentage. I mean, it still is a huge percentage. It's still generally 50% of a movie's box office haul.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, it's starting to become China and Japan. They're becoming really big box office presence, but still America's up there as far as so if you break into America, that's impressive, and that's where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to watch you there.
Yeah.
I mean, and in Canada, we mostly watch American shows, and American movies. So I don't know, something.
Well, it's to the point where if you're a Canadian actor trying to break into the American network, you need to at least have an American accent, or at least pronounce certain words Americanized or with that accent. Otherwise, you will not book the part. You could be perfect, but if you cannot pronounce certain words, you sound foreign.
Yeah.
And they'll literally go that's not going to do.
All right.
And
so no boots.
No boots. Yeah.
Not that I've only ever said a boot in a joking way. I don't. But apparently somebody must say it that.
It's a thing somewhere in Canada.
It's probably the Newfies.
Probably. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So the movie I thought that one of the best movies to open up with the podcast with Jurassic Park.
Oh.
Because it's at this point in time, it's very much in the pop culture mental collective. I mean, there's probably more people, at least in our generation, who've seen Jurassic Park than not seen Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's universally studios. It's universally known. I think.
I think so.
I mean, I think aliens on Mars are watching Jurassic Park right now.
It's probable. I mean, at this point, there's been enough transmissions of it on TV.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ambulances going on around this neighborhood.
Yeah. It never stops.
And the thing is, because I used to live on the downtown east side, I don't hear it anymore because I would hear them so often.
Yeah.
But now that I'm sort of conscious of what kind of sounds are going into the mic. When was the first time you saw Jurassic Park?
God.
Did you see it in theaters?
I didn't see it in theaters. I was too young.
I didn't either. I mean, because we're about the same age, so.
Yeah. But I do remember seeing it in my living room, and they brought it home on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
And this is back before they had, 5.1 surround sound, or at least back before I was living in a place that had access to that.
Yeah.
Was 5.1 around back then? I know they had the huge tower speakers, you could hook up your towers to it.
I have to confess, I'm pretty inept when it comes to the techie language of AV stuff.
Thank you for confiding in me. Your secret is safe with us.
Yeah. No, internet, don't tell anybody.
It's a confession booth now.
But I've never been very good at the. No, AV stuff is kind of I know where to put the cords, and then that's
all you need to know.
Yeah, exactly. And I know when a TV looks good, because at least I know when a TV looks. There's a certain sharpness in TV that makes me uncomfortable sometimes.
Mm.
But I know when it's a good quality picture that I like.
Mm.
So that's basically it. But anyway, so you see a VHS at
So
home.
yeah, I'm watching it on VHS, and I'm sitting there, and there's two things that I was in love with when I was a kid,
Yeah.
growing up. Right from the get-go, it was space
Yeah.
and dinosaurs. I don't think there was a kid that grew up that didn't at least some have, this fascination with the Tyrannosaurus Rex or with the Triceratops or something.
It's kind of incredible that dinosaurs. They're something that kids really connect to, and it's like I wonder if it's like just the fact that they're not around anymore.
It's the wonder,
Yeah.
these gigantic creatures that look nothing like what we are. Like, to me, I used to walk around after watching Jurassic Park pretending I was a raptor.
Yeah,
That was part of my game.
Yeah,
Was like
definitely.
getting into the body and the movements. And when my second stage teeth came in, I guess my canines were coming in and they were all really sharp. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm part raptor. Or something.
I'm part of
You could dream, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, the dentist, of course, dulls them so you don't hit yourself. And I was like, you bastard.
How could you do this?
How
when
could
you
you do this to
betrayed me.
me? Yeah.
I trusted you with my
trusted
mouth, and you betrayed that trust.
But my first experience with Jurassic Park, when the Tyrannosaurus attacks the kids in
In the car, right?
in the car,
In the
yeah, in the Explorer, he knocks it over and then he's like on top of it and he's like screaming, and it's that the first time I ever heard a sound like that, and it was piercing. And one of my foster homes that I was living in at the time, they were deaf, so they turned it up so they could feel the vibrations, because they see the closed captions, but they also turn it up so they can feel the movie.
Okay,
Like they
so
they can feel the vibrations in the air.
I can see that being kind of like adding a necessary dimension to, because if they can't hear it, then they still feel sound to some extent. Yeah.
Well, I remember asking my foster parents, like can you detect that I'm talking, and they told me that yes, I can feel the vibrations that's coming out of your mouth and impacting my skin.
And as hearing people, I think that's something that like we feel, but we don't acknowledge that we feel it, because it's not as important to us because we can hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that if I became deaf, I'd become very aware that I could feel people talking, and everything. I would become much more aware of vibrations. For sure.
Like your sense of touch becomes much more heightened.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's what they say happens, right? I think Mythbusters may have busted that out.
Who knows?
But,
I mean, if they busted the myth of Daredevil, I'm going to get very upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hell to pay.
Yeah.
So Daredevil, hell to pay.
Boy.
That'll do, Paul.
That'll do.
So picture me being able to hear perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Watching with my deaf foster parents who can't hear, but they've got it cranked up so loud that they can feel it.
And they're gonna be like, "You're gonna be deaf."
They're experiencing the movie. I'm experiencing this shrieking, this bone-shattering Tyrannosaurus scream.
Yeah.
And I'm in tears by the end of this. They had to send me to bed. And then, like, I lived up on this hill. It was I can't remember which community it was, but I remember there being there's a green area in the backyard, and then there's this hill that we all used to slide down, in like garbage cans and and little pools and stuff like that. That was just what we did. And then there's another community at the bottom, and I remember thinking, well, I'm safe on this side because if there's a T-Rex out there, he can't get up this hill. I'm safe.
Yeah, there you go. That's logical.
And whenever there was a thunderstorm, I had this fear now that, oh my God, this sense of, like, the thunderstorm foreshadows what's that word? Because it started raining, the tropical rainstorm in Jurassic Park, and then all of a sudden the T-Rex wakes up and then comes out, and then to me that was its trigger. was the
Oh,
thunderstorm.
okay, yeah. So it's like
So it triggered the fear in me from when I was a little kid,
right.
watching this film, and all of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, there's probably a T-Rex out there right now coming after me for some reason.
He wants you. He's like, oh, I smell native blood.
The fear.
This is what I'm going. This is what I live for right here.
That was my experience with Jurassic Park when I was a little kid. What about
Okay.
you? What was your first experience?
Now, I wasn't. My mom was pretty protective over me, so we didn't watch a lot of movies in theaters that weren't like G or PG. So Jurassic Park was definitely out of our range at that point in time because I was, let's see, it was 93. I was 7. So yeah, a little young for Jurassic Park, admittedly. But then it came out on home release, and so I was a little bit, maybe 8. But I had this uncle, or great uncle, I suppose. He was very well off, and he always had the best equipment for watching movies. He was the first person I ever knew with a good big screen TV.
And it was probably one of those big rear projections, hey?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
The
it
big
was
box.
Yeah, the big like.
They had nice sound systems in them too. They had a subwoofer if you got the right one, and if your uncle was like always had
He always had and I think what he had, in this case, was the laser disc.
Oh,
The laser disc of Jurassic Park.
I was gonna ask, was it laser disc?
Yeah,
But okay.
And so like, whatever, like, it was the best of the best, basically. And they put it on, and I don't remember watching most of the movie because I probably had a short attention span and it was going back and forth. Or maybe they started it without me, and then I went to go watch it. But all I remember very specifically was the kitchen scene with the velociraptors, and I could not handle it. It was too suspenseful for me.
You made it that far, hey? I'm a year older than you, and I didn't make it that far. They sent me to bed, ladies and gentlemen.
I literally, like, you kind of make jokes about, kids hiding behind couches, but I literally hid behind the couch. I just could not take it. I think I just had to leave the room. Like, even the sounds were just like, because it's also like it was kids in peril too. Like, it wasn't just. Really it wasn't a T-Rex eating a lawyer.
Yeah.
It was like, these are the kids who are in trouble with monsters that could fit in your house.
Yeah. And they somehow figured out open doors. I had a fear about the raptors when I had seen the movie in its entirety.
Yeah.
But I always took comfort knowing that we had doorknobs. And good luck gripping a doorknob raptor.
Yeah. My cat's tried.
Yeah. and if a cat can't figure it out, you're screwed.
Yeah, true enough. I remember, actually, it must have been around the exact same time because Alien 3 came out in 93 as well. And I didn't even watch that movie. I just watched the trailer, and it, like, freaked me out. But I remember, like, logically being in bed, knowing, look, these things aren't real. You're fine. Nothing's going to happen. You haven't been eaten yet. They got to go up 3 flights. They got to go.
Rationalize it.
You're like, there's no reason why you should be scared.
Yeah.
Just go to sleep.
They have to break through the window first. And you'll hear that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I still was just like, I still thought raptors were going to come in my room and eat me, or the alien from Alien 3 was going to come and just like single me out for some reason, And so apparently hiding under my covers was enough protection that I could sleep because they would never find me there.
The magical force field of your blanket.
So
just cover up. You're done.
It's very interesting how kids, like, the kids are smart. We can rationalize. Okay, things are fine. Everything's gonna be okay.
They've been extinct for 65 million years.
Like, and aliens. They're aliens. They don't exist. They're not gonna come. Why would they come here? Like Burnaby in Canada. Like, honestly, But still, there's this very instinctual part of you that just can't, like, you can't rationalize out of when you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's just like, but I'm gonna hide. I just gotta hide.
Like it's amazing that when you break it down, it's as they say, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
And here we are talking about this movie that has had this profound effect on us from when we were little kids, and it was something as simple as having to be sent to bed or having to rationalize, or tell yourself, look, they're extinct. They're not going to come in your room, but just in case, I'll pull the blanket over my head.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. You know?
Just as the final barrier
Yeah.
between these raptors and me and certain doom.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, you know, it's again, like, that's the power of a well-told story.
A very well-told story.
Yeah, so...
I mean, I watch it all the time now. Well, not all the time, like at least once or twice a year. And whenever I watch it, I always find something new that I like about it. And as an actor, you know, I try to analyze. Well, I can't stop analyzing people's performances. And you know, think about what they had to do to get themselves into that particular mindset. And you know, Jeff Goldblum just blows me away. In that movie. You know, like, I feel like he really, really adds some, like, a flavor to the film with just all the idiosyncrasies that his character has.
That's something that I've come to appreciate more with time. Like, that's something I never got as a kid. He goes a lot, and he's funny, and
he's quirky.
But yeah, definitely, like, it's a very kind of deliberate choice for him to jump and be this sort of, like, philosophical, kind of insecure, but also kind of charming kind of character.
Who wears a leather jacket and these, you know, this really stylish outfit, you know, that nobody's wearing except for him. You know, he's the rock star, you know, as they say, or as John Hammond says, I bring the scientists, you bring the rock star. You know, like, and there's a moment in that film that always makes me laugh, and it's when he's sitting there in the truck, and everyone gets out, and he's talking about chaos theory.
Yeah.
And you can tell immediately, like, his actor choices are brilliant. He's a teacher. You know he's a teacher because it's like he's talking to a class. He's giving a lecture. So he's teaching, you know, Dr. Sattler about, you know, he's flirting too, but he's also teaching her, you know, this science that he's, you know, chaos theory, this well accepted. Anyways, this theory. And he's sitting there in the Jeep, and then he's like, right there, you know, like, who could have thought that, you know, Dr. Grant would just suddenly get up and move out of a moving vehicle, or jump out of a moving vehicle, and then she gets out, and he's like, and right there it happened again, you know, and now here I am, you know, by myself, talking to myself, and that is chaos theory, and he holds his hand up in this way, like he's talking to the class.
It's true, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like where did he go to make that choice? Like, he's like, I am the teacher, and I'm teaching these people, you know, and he's got sort of an arrogance about him, you know, the character, you know, I am a teacher, I am a professor in my given field of study, and I am, you know, I'm going to teach you people, you know, he's got this almost arrogance to him, and yet there he is sitting there in this moment, having that moment, teaching nobody.
It's true, yeah, and that's,
he carries it through, like, this character choice of the teacher, I feel.
Okay, so so Sam Neill, I thought, played, like, a straight man very well, and
who was terrified of kids.
yeah, exactly. But with enough, like, personality, so he's not just, like, the hero. In fact, he's kind of an unusual choice for, like, the hero kind of character, because he's more of a scientific mind. Yeah, you know,
like Sam Neill or the character Dr. Grant?
Both. I mean,
it's like John Cusack. I can never get around him being the hero guy, but when he does it so well.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like John Cusack.
Yeah, he's like the guy next door, you know?
Yeah.
He's really quirky and funny. And
John Cusack's one of those actors that I wish he'd just, like, take me under his wing. He's like, here, Doug, let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, John Cusack.
You'd call him John Cusack.
He's like,
hey, John Cusack, you want a burger?
He's like, you can just call me John. I'm like, that, what? Your name's not John. Your name's John Cusack. But there's no John Cusack in Jurassic Park. You know, although that might have been an interesting choice too. Anyway, yeah, what I like about Jurassic Park is that the screenplay, it's kind of brilliant in that it's very focused. it's very linear. It's a straightforward kind of adventure survival story.
Yeah.
But within that story, there's a lot of like implications and subtleties that and yeah, like I think there's a very philosophical side to it, and that does also come out with the Jeff Goldblum character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole movie takes place within the span of like what, less than 24 hours, right? I mean,
Yeah.
or probably about 24 hours between them going on the island, things going wrong, and then getting to the end.
Well, the movie takes place over the course of weeks, I think, because at the very beginning, the raptor.
Oh, that's
eats
true.
the dude,
Yes. So yeah, there's
which then causes the issues. You know, the shareholders are like, well, if these things are dangerous, we need to get some.
That's
people
true.
in
Yeah.
there.
That's and then there's
Which
the
is
scene.
Which is something else that I didn't appreciate when I was a kid. Was that whole loading team step away scene when then shoot her?
You kind of think it's just sort of this dramatic.
This
scene,
beginning, and I was just like, well,
but it actually sets the whole events of the movie in motion.
Because the dude dies, and then they're not going to kill the raptor because the raptor is too valuable. You know, right there, there's another implication. You know, what do we value more, this valuable raptor or this dude who's about to die? They had shotguns there, and no one took a shot. They tased it.
It's true, and even though the guy was like, shoot her, because, I mean, it even says...
Well, I guess he had a shotgun.
Yeah, but he says that... he shows that he values human life more, because later in the movie, actually one of the main introductions to his character is when they're looking at the raptor cage, and he comes and he's like, they should all be destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, that's like one of his first lines in the bulk of the movie.
With the rest of the cast.
Apart from the opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're valuing the property of the raptors more than the human lives, which I guess kind of carries through the whole film and is really what causes the problem.
Well, the greed and everything. I mean, look at Dennis. I mean, Dennis betrays his employers to other people who want to skip 10 years worth of research.
And it's not even like a kind of betrayal. It's not even the kind of betrayal where like I'm gonna swipe out a little late. Like after I get out of my uniform, I'm gonna swipe out and skim a little more money. It's the kind of betrayal where it's like I'm gonna leave these people behind to die.
Yeah.
And like that's like very like a next level kind of greed. And I think that one of the biggest themes of the movie is man sort of trying to be superior to nature. I think that this sort of like extends to a lot of like humanity in that we're always trying to we do kind of whatever it takes for us to get what we want, doing damage to the planet, even though like, hey, this is our lifeline here. We kind of need this planet, but we're very short-sighted, and so like I think that there's this sort of balance of power that where we kind of the movie's sort of a showcase of when we try and be above nature. Nature will humble us.
Yeah.
And
well, like it's funny you use that word nature, because nature, when we talk about outside and outdoors and all that, nature has a funny way of humbling us, but so does human nature. If you consider the fact that we, it is our nature to progress technologically to a point where we want to create dinosaurs. I mean, we're trying it right now. I mean, well, they're playing with the idea, at least in the scientific community.
I entirely believe that they are.
Well, I read something about it on Facebook, which is now like news.
Yeah,
Don't take my word on it, though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
but they have found.
I've definitely seen a few things linked onto Facebook where people are like, "OMG, I can't believe this is happening," and I'm like, "Well, this is actually a parody article page, so it's not really happening." Or just could be some like.
Well, we're cloning sheep and stuff like that. Like,
it's true.
We're playing with like.
So cloning is a real thing, and I think.
And that's how they make the dinosaurs, is they clone.
And it's one thing to remember is when Jurassic Park was made, that was before they cloned Dolly the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that was another case of sort of like science fiction predicting.
Arthur C. Clarke.
Yeah, man. Science fiction, like it's.
By the way, 2001, a great read.
Science fiction is so forward thinking, and not even just technologically, but sort of like pegging the ideas. Like pegging something that humans strive to be, and some of the complexities and flaws in our nature,
mm-hmm.
and showing how this could be a problem in other, like in sort of outer worldly contexts. And in this case, it's sort of like, what if men could harness the power of cloning dinosaurs?
Yeah.
And like, how would that look? And I think that like Jurassic Park kind of hits the nail on the head. It's
Yeah.
sort of us messing with something that is beyond our control.
Mm-hmm. And
then they eat us.
yeah, well, at least the lawyers.
Yes, at least the lawyers and the traders.
Yeah, and as Weird Al
and
says,
Samuel L. Jackson.
you know, they're not all bad because they ate the lawyer.
Oh yeah. Oh man,
I
Jurassic Park.
listened to that soundtrack religiously when I was a kid too.
There was a point in time when I had the Weird Al's Jurassic Park memorized.
Yeah.
Like from start to finish. I
Yeah,
don't think
me
I
too.
do anymore, but I definitely did at some point.
And the orchestra wasn't quite John Williams, but it got the point across.
Yeah, and I heard Jurassic Park way before, like way before I heard the original MacArthur's Park, which is sung by Richard Harris, the late actor who played like Dumbledore in the first two Harry Potter movies.
I really liked him.
Yeah, he's a legend, man.
Not that there's anything wrong with the new Dumbledore. I like how he's very strong and very powerful, but I love the gentler, the gentler nature of the other Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
Earwax.
Oh.
But yeah, getting back to what I was saying about nature.
Yeah.
It's human nature to want to, I guess, progress technologically and test the boundaries and test the limits of nature itself and really see what we're capable of. And it's also human nature to be greedy.
Mm-hmm.
And the greed then works against our nature. Our nature works against our nature, and then nature itself has to come and kick us in the butt.
Yeah. That's an interesting point. That there's this, a conflicting human nature, like
There's the benevolence of science and wanting to create something, but then when you start to commercialize it and then you really break it down to what it is, we're recreating a species that, as Ian Malcolm says, had it shot, and nature selected them, I can't remember the rest of it.
It was like, I mean, Hotshot nature selected them for
extinction.
Yeah.
And here we are bringing back a species that is like, to see a Tyrannosaurus or to see even like one of those little things, I can't remember what they're called. Or any dinosaur at all, or even like as Dr. Sattler, she was blown away at this Cretaceous period plant.
Yeah.
To create something like that for our own amusement.
Yeah. I mean,
that's awful.
And that's something that, like, I think that also gets skimmed over in. I think when I think of Jurassic Park, is that it was supposed to be like Disneyland, like these are living creatures that are immensely powerful, therefore are entertainment. Well, I mean, the thing is, things spiral out of control so fast.
Yeah.
You instantly sort of.
Well, as soon as the shields come down.
Yeah.
All hell breaks loose. These are creatures that have instincts that and patterns of behavior that developed, as Dr. Sattler said, over millions of years, and these are creatures that we're bringing back to life for the sole purpose of our amusement. If they came back this day and age, what would we do? Take a picture of it with our iPhone?
Yeah.
We tweet it. Look at me standing next to the Tyrannosaurus
selfie with a T-Rex
or something. I mean, people come down on humans because we capture wild animals and we put them in our zoos. I'm against the zoos. I don't like if you're trying to save a species from extinction, then grab a couple of pandas and try to get them to mate.
Which apparently is a lot of work.
Yeah,
they're very lazy.
Yeah,
it's like I like sex and all, but I can't be bothered.
Can't bring myself to it.
It's like, come on, guys.
Come on,
Pandas had their chance, and nature selected them.
Could you imagine? They're cute though.
They are.
Yeah, there's activists and everything that are all against taming a lion,
Yeah.
Or tigers or gorillas and any type of animal and putting it in a zoo. I don't like fish bowls. I don't like that idea because they belong in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we construct houses for ourselves, and you know, we have television to amuse ourselves, but we're fully aware of what's going on. These animals have no idea why they're captured. They don't know why they're being pulled away from their natural habitat. They're being stuck inside this little pen, and that's an animal that is alive and well today. We're in Jurassic Park. We're we're recreating a species that has been long since extinct for the sole purpose, and this is a point that you've made already,
Mm-hmm.
and that we've been stressing. But the fact is, like, we're bringing them back just for entertainment purposes. That's disgusting. Thank you, Michael Crichton. Is that his name?
Right.
Crichton. I've never been able to pronounce that name. Thank you, Michael Crichton, for bringing that to our. Like, you're a genius.
He was a genius.
He was.
He passed away a few years
Shows
ago.
how much I know.
But here's how you remember Michael Crichton's name. This is the slogan that made me remember. Michael Crichton rhymes with frighten.
Crichton.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, and you know, I always sort of on the subject is that I whenever watching movies, I always feel immensely sad when an animal dies. Like, you know, like it's because like if a person dies, to some extent, I'm just like, well, you know, they at least kind of understood their surroundings and why they were fighting. Like I keep thinking of Braveheart and like when the horses get impaled with like things. I'm like, about the horses. They're just horses. They don't know what they're doing. They're being ridden. So yeah, like there's this part of me that's really like sympathizes with animals because they're just sort of we use them a lot of the time. And the thing
funny.
is,
Sorry.
I mean, on the subject of zoos, is that I think that like I'm not 100% against zoos, but I do think that, and I'm glad that like treatment has been improving. I know that there's still a lot of zoos out there, and a lot of like I also think of like circuses and stuff from like old times where like animals were severely mistreated, and I'm totally against that. Nowadays, I don't think I'm well educated enough in the sort of like the systems that that are involved in zoos and stuff like that.
I'm not against myself. I'm not against them. Like this is where my issue comes with zoos, just in particular. It's the fact that there's animals that don't have no business being in a cage and gawked at and whatnot.
Yeah.
They belong, you know, monkeys and whatnot, swinging on trees and eating fruit and berries and stuff like that. And lions, they should be on the plains, you know, hunting antelope.
Yeah.
They have a massive, or they used to, a territory that they would roam.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have them in a box. Let's say we rescue them and whatnot. Yeah, that's all and great. Put them on a preserve or something, where like, you know, let's say they wouldn't be able to handle life in the wild because they haven't honed those skills yet. But don't have them in a box for our amusement.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they just don't belong in there. That's my issue with it.
Yeah, no,
like
I definitely
they could be getting treated to 5-star treatment. But the fact of the matter is they shouldn't be there in the first place.
I could definitely, I see that point of view.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough too.
This mouse, man.
For those of you who can't, my mouse is literally being held together with Scotch tape. It's kind of hilarious. And
is it the Scotch brand?
I think so, actually.
Oh, so it must smell like Christmas.
Is that how it works?
Well, I used to love wrapping presents when I was a little kid. You know, my parents would be like, here's $20, we'll get like a gift for whatever, and you know, you always felt like you were giving something to somebody.
Yeah.
Because you're too young to have a job, but you know, the wrapping it up and then giving it to somebody and watching, you know. So then Scotch tape, for some reason, I always associate that smell with Christmas.
I imagine that probably smells more like my hand sweat right now.
It does. Which, you know, it's musky and wonderful.
All right. So
it's just not Christmas.
Yeah, no. What's your favorite part of Jurassic Park?
That is a difficult one.
Yeah.
There's so much build up. I mean, right from the get go, there's this sense that what we're doing is wrong, and there's going to be implications, and there's going to be you know that they're building up to this point where all of our planning and everything is going to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that just the fact that there's that constant. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I
It's
get
hard for me
okay.
to pick
Like
up.
how about like the I think you're trying to say is there's this underlying feeling that something's going to go wrong, like
Yeah.
this looming presence of like this can't last for long, and apparently it
Hmm.
doesn't last. Like it's I mean, all it takes is one rowdy programmer to just decide that he doesn't want to be, that he's got a better offer,
Yeah.
and then suddenly like chaos is it's out there, it's loose.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's just the whole thing. Just it starts so well, and the characters are all so different from each other, and they each add their own particular flavor. And there's there's nothing really that I don't there's nothing really that I don't like about it. I
Mhm.
mean, one could argue that the part where clever girl, that's the best part. One could argue that the Tyrannosaurus breaking out of its pen, that's the best part. It like everything had to it had to come to that point.
Yeah.
And if they just threw the Tyrannosaurus in right at the beginning, you'd be like, oh, a T-Rex, that's neat. Like
Yeah.
he had to say, we have a T-Rex, and then Dr. Grant gets overwhelmed. You're building up to the point where you're going to see it, and then you're supposed to see it, and then you don't. And then you see the goat, and then you still don't.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Yeah.
then there's the boom, that vibration.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
fact that they built up to that point, and then you're like, oh my god, what's that sound?
And that was one of the things that because every now and then I completely binge watch Siskel and Ebert reviews on YouTube. Just because like every now and then I want to watch Siskel and Ebert, and so I
I've
look
never
up.
seen an episode.
You can watch. There's tons on YouTube, so I really like watching them sometimes. And I watched the Jurassic Park one, and they were very lukewarm and ho hum on the movie. And one of the things Ebert said was that if you want to watch dinosaurs, you got plenty of dinosaurs, but there's no sense of like suspense. You basically see the dinosaurs right away. I was like, what? I completely disagreed because I feel like you said, there is a lot leading up to the reveal of the T-Rex, and even more leading up to the reveal of the Velociraptors.
Yeah,
Like
they
there's
build it up to be this.
you see some of for the first while the completely non-dangerous dinosaurs. Like there's no sense of doom because it's like this Brachiosaurus that's just munching on leaves, and you're like, wow, that's like what is with these special effects? These are incredible. But yeah, there's plenty of build up to the danger. So I got what you mean there.
Well, I guess if I had to pick one part about the film, that is my favorite, which is something we talked about earlier today, isn't so much in the story itself because I think it's brilliant, but it's in the fact that they use practical effects,
Yeah.
animatronics. The lawyer says robotica.
Yeah.
Robotica. They use robots, and you really feel like the T-Rex. They literally have this gigantic T-Rex head
Yeah.
sitting 2 inches away from Sam Neill and
Laura Dern or which
Laura Dern.
Yeah.
No, not Laura Dern. Ariana Richards.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The younger girl.
Lex.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not acting on a green screen and reacting to it. There's this robotic Tyrannosaurus with these huge jaws, these crazy teeth, this gigantic head looking at them, sniffing at them. They might have added the sounds in post, I don't know. But she's screaming because this gigantic T-Rex is looking right at her.
I think that
You're getting a chance to act off of this thing that's literally there.
There's something there to like. There's no pretending. Like and it looks good. And even though they do use CG in the film, and it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
Like it integrates it so flawlessly that I think the most part there is the practical stuff, but it's pretty incredible how well the CG is aged. But yeah, basically any like full body shots of the T-Rex and stuff are CG, but at the time like it was groundbreaking, and there's still productions being made that don't match what Jurassic Park pulled off. It's kind of incredible. Yeah, my favorite part of Jurassic Park is, and I think this sort of ties into the practical effects as well, and the fact that the dinosaurs have, like the visuals have aged as well as they have, is there's this like sense of wonderment all kind of throughout it. Like as much as there's like these philosophical implications, there's still this sort of like jaw-dropping, wow, like this is such a, there's this like majesty to like the reveal of everything, and especially like in the first act of the film when they first get on the island. It's
Yeah.
and this is something that I think Steven Spielberg is really good at in general. He's just somehow, I guess because of him and John Williams and like just so the score and the visuals and
the helicopter approaching.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's just this point where you're like something amazing is going to happen. This is so, and the thing is like, it was amazing for the audience members at the time. Like there was no, like visually no movie like it. But you also like feel it in with the characters. Like wow, they're there with dinosaurs. There's like never a doubt in your mind that they're there with dinosaurs. Mm. And it is also partly because the special effects, like they made dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So
did they ever?
But now here's a tricky question, because this is such a obviously a movie that we're very passionate about. What did you not like about the movie?
Well, the thing I dislike the most is, there wasn't enough CGI. There's too many robots. Honestly, I'm really gonna have to ponder this one.
Okay, well,
I tried thinking about this when you sent me the questions.
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with something then, and
I have one thing that I
maybe it'll
didn't
spark
like.
something in me.
What I don't like about Jurassic Park is sort of how it made the pop culture idea of dinosaurs. It kind of fed people kind of incorrect facts. Like velociraptors are not actually those big raptors. The velociraptors were like chicken size, and the bigger ones were like Utah raptors or Deinonychus. I think the names are interchangeable. Everyone calls it a T-Rex now. Before that, people did call it a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I don't know why Spielberg is like, no one's going to be able to say Tyrannosaurus.
We have a T-Rex.
I mean...
It's like, dude, you built the park. You can't say its name.
It's
the king of the dinosaurs.
It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrant. It's like tyrant lizard, right?
Yeah, tyrant lizard.
And...
Rex means king, doesn't it? Tyrant lizard king? Isn't that what Tyrannosaurus Rex roughly translates to?
I think so.
The tyrant lizard king. I could be wrong. Google it.
Something similar to that at the very least.
That was to the audience, not to me.
Yeah.
And the T-Rex, they got the size wrong too.
Yeah. How big are they?
Apparently, they're not supposed to be that large.
Okay.
Although I've seen I remember hearing that so often. Like the T-Rex isn't that big. It's not quite that big. And then I was at this museum not too long ago, and I'm looking at this skeleton, this fossil, and I'm going, he's pretty friggin' huge.
Yeah, and I mean, he could eat me. That I'm not joking. He could do that.
Could they gulp me in one bite though? I don't think so.
Well, there were pieces left over of the lawyer, so I don't think they got him in one bite.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, I didn't notice any size issues with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, but I'm not a dinosaur expert, so.
Neither am I.
So I mean, actually, I'm know less about dinosaurs now than I did when I was a kid. Just because.
Me too.
Yeah, I used to know a lot about dinosaurs.
I used to those picture books and everything.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then if I had Google back then,
Yeah.
like
you wouldn't, unlike the kids of today, you wouldn't have been Googling Minecraft videos. You'd be Googling dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of feel that they should have just done a little more fact-checking, but at the same time, like, this is a minor issue in what is otherwise, like, a really well-told story.
They could have also been just trying to honor the source material. I mean, did Michael Crichton, did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Did he really know as much about dinosaurs, or was he writing a really, really good book? And then was Spielberg, just honoring that,
I don't know.
A 6-foot velociraptor as opposed to the little chicken ones.
Well, I know that there are some key differences between the book and the movie. I think different people. I think Ian Malcolm dies in the book.
Spoiler alert.
I'm not sure I'm not 100% sure but I think he does, and I think that the Australian dude doesn't die. So clever girl. I should have worn my Clever Girl shirt. But I have a shirt where it's a Velociraptor who solved a Rubik's Cube, and it says Clever Girl underneath it in the Jurassic Park font.
I love the Velociraptor.
Velociraptor. I love Velociraptor. Like
The little meme.
The claw to the chin.
Yeah.
That is one of those memes that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
There's quite a few where I just like I don't really get this.
It's like, okay,
But Velociraptor, I'm a big fan of.
You can caption that thing. I can't think of anything clever right now, but I've seen some really funny ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of my questions is, would you recommend it and to whom? I guess this one's pretty obvious in that I think we can both recommend it. If someone goes like, I haven't seen Jurassic Park, that's one of the ones where I'm like, you haven't seen Jurassic Park?
I'm kind of strange. I like to experience movies for the first time through other people. For me, like I like to do it with books too. Like my fiance Jamie, I had her read Ender's Game, and she wasn't. I didn't let her finish it. I almost had a really sexist there. I asked her very politely if she wouldn't finish.
She keeps picking up the book, you slap it out of her hand.
Put that book down.
You know what happens when women read?
Oh, that's awful.
They get all uppity.
Well, that went in a different direction.
Sorry. The moment you're like, oh, that could sound sexist, my mind went like, oh, let's find out how sexist it sounds.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, of course not.
But it was one of those things that I just couldn't let her. I was like, please don't read it. I have to be there when you make the discovery. I'm that way with movies. If I was to recommend that movie to somebody, I would be like, okay, that's it. You have to come and watch it at my place.
Right.
We'll watch it together. And then, I'll have a Jurassic Park party and have a bunch of people over here, and we'll all watch it together at the same time. And I feel like...
and you get free food if you dress up like a Velociraptor.
If you dress like a raptor, or if you come up with something clever to say for the Velociraptor.
Yeah, there you go.
You get free chicken wings, or, some steak. I don't know. Something good. I have a barbecue, so... But yeah, I would definitely recommend it, and I would try to watch it with them at the very least. So that way I could experience it again with them.
I was trying to think of who I would recommend it to, but honestly, like I don't know who I wouldn't. Like it's not. There's nothing like horrendously inappropriate about it. I mean, it's tense, it's scary, but it's never grotesque or it never feels to me like it's gratuitous in any sort of way. So,
like a lot of movies now have lost that, leaving something up to the imagination.
Yeah, I think the grossest part is like when Sam Jackson's arm comes over her shoulder and
you
can
always tell. Like I always got a sense that was like a foam prop.
Yeah, it's again that's another case where it's not that bad.
Yeah. If I had to say that there was something I didn't like about the film.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, now that you just reminded me. How did the raptor get in behind the power box? It's in a cage. You need to get into the room. You need to it's behind a cage, and then there's the huge power box, and then there's all the cables. How did the raptor get behind that? Because it sticks its head through, and I can see it makes it a very tense situation that this raptor's head comes straight through.
Yeah, actually, that scene makes people jump. Like that.
I see why it's there, but how the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's sort of you see like this is a great cinematic choice. What are the logistics behind this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that my ex, when we watched Jurassic Park when it came out re-release in 3D, we were watching it together, and I knew it was coming, but she hadn't seen the movie, and she was all like cocky, like. This is so predictable. I know exactly what's coming, and I'm like, all right. And so as this is happening, I was kind of like peeking over my shoulder, seeing what happens. Full out jump. I was like,
got you.
Take that. She kept being so cocky.
You don't know it all, do you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So my only complaint is that one little bit.
That's fair enough. But
I totally get why they did it. And I really enjoyed it when it happened.
Yeah, totally.
Because it made me jump when I finally watched it all the way through.
When you finally mustered up the strength.
The strength, yeah.
Yeah.
I grew a pair. Well, they at least dropped. Oh, sorry, this is for PG.
I'm not. For some reason, I'm surprisingly okay with like little subtle like sexual references,
Oh, okay.
but like for some reason like profanity, I'm just like, no, I don't think that's good for the kids. Yeah, I think that I'd pretty much recommend it to anybody. I think Jurassic Park is one of my favorite blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
Like it's just well polished, well executed, like just all around top notch talent made it to be the kind of movie. Like sometimes you watch a film and you're like, this isn't this is good. It could have been better. I don't really know if Jurassic Park could have been better. I don't know. Because every time they tried, it didn't work with the sequels. I mean,
yeah, well, they were trying to take it in another direction.
And I didn't hate The Lost World. I thought The Lost World had really good parts.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah. But Jurassic Park 3, I think is a mess. Yeah, but that's another. And that's one where
when I saw Sam Neill in that one, I was just like, oh yes,
yeah, bring back Sam Neill.
Yeah, Sam Neill. Not that I don't love Jeff Goldblum, but to see Sam Neill again.
Yeah.
And also what's her name?
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern, yeah. And then seeing, I know her name, I can't remember it. And then seeing Laura Dern again, but you only ever see her at the very beginning and then the very end.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert. And then like I really liked their chemistry in the first movie. Her wanting to have kids. I get why. I totally understand why. She chose to have kids and everything, and then she has this family with somebody who's open to the idea of children, even though there's still that love between Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler. I didn't feel that same chemistry, but they were at different parts. I guess they were at different stages in their lives at that point too, right? So,
yeah.
But seeing them again and then not seeing her until the very end, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And when the T-Rex loses the fight.
Yeah.
I was so angry. I was like, this can't happen.
No, it's like, no, you're like, I'm not into this movie anymore.
I am so upset.
Yeah, they just kind of, I don't know. I always felt like the Spinosaurus was this strange sort of like, we're going to throw in a new dinosaur, and that's going to be the selling part of the movie, and completely crap all over.
Although they did a really great job with the ringtone in Jurassic Park 3, and they hear it, and they're like, wait a second, that's my phone. They turn around, and this thing somehow got behind them without anybody knowing, and he's just staring at them. He's like hunched down, and he's like staring at them, and they all turn around and see this thing, and they're like, oh. And then they like all go through the gate, and then this thing just tears through the fence like it's not even there. Remember that part?
It's been a while since I've seen it. The part I remember the most was the subplot about the Velociraptor egg.
Yeah, because the dude grabs the eggs, and then he wants to try and.
Yeah, and then they kind of took the Velociraptors in this sort of next intelligence level, where it's like, oh, he's returned our egg, so now we can leave in peace. It's just sort of like, what?
Which is what I liked about the second one with the T-Rexes. They were like, you know that conversation went on between Mom and Pop. And he's like, let's just go. She's like, fine. We have our baby. It's all good. They even radioed down, they're going back into the woods. And you was like, you know what, nobody messes with my cub. She turns around, and she kicks the Jeep, and it goes flying over the edge.
And then she eats one of the guys, and
then he's like, okay.
Oh, no, didn't they both come in and, like...
They tore him apart.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was before... Oh, I don't remember.
Well, they were leaving in peace, and then everyone, like, it was all good.
Phew.
Thank goodness. And then Mama turns around, and she's like...
No.
No,
this is not... So,
baby. They basically did that with the Raptors this time.
Mm-hmm. But not to the... Not as well. And
they were trying to play up the intelligence of the raptor as opposed to the brutish instincts of the Tyrannosaurus.
And it didn't mesh well with me because it did seem like...
Almost contrived?
It did. Like, it definitely contrived is a good word for it. And also, like, kind of discredit...
But
to Joe Jackson and the creative team behind.
It was a beautifully shot movie. I think it looked great.
And Joe Jackson's made some good films. That was not one of them, I don't think. Because he made Captain America, not the Winter Soldier, but the first
The first
Avenger.
one.
And he shot. I think he was.
I like that one.
I think he was the Rocketeer director as well.
I didn't know that was Stanley Tucci.
In the Rocketeer.
No,
In
Jurassic. Captain America, the first one.
Oh, right.
He's the German scientist.
Stanley Tucci is one of those actors who kind of takes you by surprise a lot of the time. Like
Oh my
he
gosh,
has he has a Stanley Tucci kind of default, and then he can do character acting as well.
He's so good.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, we're derailing. So, okay, a rating out of 5. 0 being this is a complete and utter waste of time. 5 being a magnificent movie-going experience. What would you give Jurassic Park?
I'm gonna say, and this could just be nostalgia and the fact that it had such an impact on me at such a young age. I would give it a 5, but that's because it did have that huge of an impact. I'm not sure if it would have that same impact for anyone these days, and it might get a lower rating. Where we were with our ability to make a good film, and the fact that it hadn't been done before,
Yeah.
to such an incredible degree, I would have to give it a 5. Like, look at what they did.
Yeah.
And it's become the defining. Like, people think T-Rex and they think, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The sound of the T-Rex. Everyone will always think Jurassic Park.
It's true.
That
It
Tyrannosaurus.
has made a significant cultural impact.
Yeah.
And it did change the way, like, it showed a lot of.
Thank you for summing up what I said in just 2 words.
Yeah.
Cultural impact.
Yeah. No, I
There we
mean
go.
it's true though. Like it's and it also like had a huge huge ripple effect on the movie industry as a
Yes.
whole because of like people saw the potential of CG
Mhm.
and also
The value in practical effects.
and which is something that didn't go away right away. Like and I'm glad it didn't. In fact, and there was that point in time where people were like, oh, we can do anything with CG, but they didn't have the Jurassic Park budget, and now you have movies that are horribly dated. Have you seen like Spawn
Yeah.
anytime recently? There's that scene where
Yeah.
he's in hell,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh man, oh no, this is not.
How about
Resident Evil. You know, I actually haven't seen any Resident Evil.
The first
movies.
one.
I haven't seen it.
the creature is all
They all look
looks
bad,
like he comes
eh?
out of a video game.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. So,
The fact
Yeah.
that it stands up now.
this fact that Jurassic Park still
So-
stands true, because like Resident Evil and Spawn, they came out after.
Mhm.
So that just shows like how much work went into the JP
Yeah.
creatures.
Well, I even have it. I have it on Blu-ray, and you know that sometimes Blu-ray will make it more difficult for you to appreciate the CGI because then it just shows more of the imperfections.
Yeah.
And it just looks better.
Yeah.
It's aged well. Like there's definitely some scenes where you can tell, but it's standard the test of time.
As such, I also feel like I
Standard the test of time. Really, Paul?
standards.
It stood the test of
Stood
time.
the
What
test
stood
of-
the test of time?
Um.
It stood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also I have no qualms at all giving it any 5 stars myself. I think that like it's just it's a classic. I think at this point.
Yeah.
And Siskel and Ebert couldn't see that at the time, but I think they may have reevaluated their opinion as time went on and they saw like I don't know, like just what kind of effect it had on people, or maybe they're stuck in their ways. Who knows? But
Well, maybe they're right and we're wrong.
well, that's one of
No.
the things is where
That's the thing about opinions.
the opinions is that they are opinions. I'm sure there are people who don't like Jurassic Park, and to them I am.
I
Very
will
sorry.
fight you.
Yeah, your opinion's wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
I think so. Yeah. No, it's but that shows like this not 100%.
So there's one thing I want to add though before we finish.
Yeah.
And that is I remember seeing Jurassic Park 2 in theaters.
Okay.
And there's one thing I remember more than the movie, and it's I was watching with my best friend, who her name's Vicky, and we went to the theater for her birthday,
Mhm.
and we both ordered a drink which isn't around anymore, and it's called Orbitz.
Orbits. That rings a bell.
So I'm putting this out there to your listeners.
Okay.
And see if any of them remember, and if they do, leave a comment.
So that's
That I will always think of Jurassic Park 2.
Jurassic Park 2 and Orbits.
And I want in Orbits.
Yeah.
Every time I watch that movie, I have it, and I feel like I'm empty. But
Okay.
I don't know why.
No,
I
that's
have
interesting.
no idea why.
Good to know. Orbits. I want to like look that up, and because that name.
It was a
rings
pop that
bell.
had these little jellies in it. These little beads. These jello.
Oh,
beads.
and they like they're orbits because they would swish around
Yeah.
in there. Oh, okay, yeah. There you go. There's a little piece of 90s nostalgia right there.
That and Pogs. No, Pogs was gone by then.
Yeah, Pogs was like 94 specifically.
Yeah.
I think. I remember because I had almost all the Lion King Pogs, and I was so disappointed that there were like 2 or 3 that I was missing, and I couldn't get them, and I had all these doubles.
The doubles. But everyone else had doubles of.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean the original Pogs, like with the Pogman, Poison,
Yeah,
Balls, Fishbone.
I had a few of the original Pogs, for sure. And now Pogs is sort of one of those things where it's like one of the defining fads of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came and it went.
Very fast. It didn't seem fast at the time, but looking back,
No.
like, oh,
It was literally 1 year.
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe. We're going to get this up on iTunes, and I haven't got the website up yet, so I won't give you any address. But if you like it, share it with your friends. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to question them and comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have anything like specific you want to add to, maybe something we didn't touch on.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll answer them on a podcast.
Or share your first Jurassic Park experience.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear stuff like that because we both have similar experiences of being young and watching it and not being ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you have any questions, email them, and then we'll answer them on a podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Well, not live. We'll do it on the show. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. Good evening and good movie watching. I got to find a better finale.
Good
catch.
finale.
Checking
the gate.
Yeah.
Actors will know. Actors will get it.
Checking the gate and then
Moving on.
Moving on.